Today then is our last day in Madeira, although we're not leaving until a later flight. Hopefully, bus number 8 to Madeira shopping, and then a trot up the Levada for a couple of miles, and then return and trot back. And if I'm really lucky, I might even be back in time for what they call the late risers breakfast. Well, here I am at Madeira shopping. I've just got to find the Levada now. It's not looking very promising. This is, here we are, I found the Levada. How's it going? Around there, and eventually it heads over to those mountains. Unfortunately, a lot of this I think is a bit too narrow to run on. Bit of a long drop down there. It's getting a bit better here, less scary. Well, the feel of this Levada now has changed quite dramatically. Dry gorges. So we don't have the open views that we have as we're going sort of along the edge where we can see the sea. Oh, there's a tricky bit. There's a nice sturdy handrail in place to stop you falling down there. Sounds good, doesn't it? So this is interesting. Obviously they're worried about that lot coming down and blocking the Levada, so they've made some little props to hold it in place, because really that boulder just wants to end up going down there, I suppose. It's difficult not to be impressed. It looks tricky. Cleft in the rock. I must have blasted this out to get the Levada through, mustn't they? Oh, this is interesting. Tunnel through there. And, aha. One way down there. Again, another thoughtfully sturdy handrail. In the guidebook I've got, there's lots of warnings about rockfalls on this one, and you see lots of damage, but also obviously places where rocks have fallen. So I don't think I'll be coming along here in a rainstorm or just after a heavy rainstorm, and a lot might fall down on your head. On a day like today, it all seems fairly safe and secure. Distance 2 miles. Duration 29 minutes 59 seconds. Pace 16 minutes 10 seconds per mile. There you go, another example of me wanting to look and stop and not run. So a 15-minute mile. But hey, who's counting? Boulder damage. I think you can see what I mean. See these boulders? Sorry, these fake railings have obviously been clobbered by boulders and bent and buckled and whatnot. But still seems okay to go through. Going through a gate now. I wonder if that once upon a time might have prevented you from going further. I did hear that might be the case. But fantastic. And so we come to the vineyard. These are all grapes, and we have since learnt that they grow them in this sort of way above the ground to keep them away from the ground, because otherwise they get a bit damp and go mouldy before they can pick them. Look at that. Wow. Coming along here, there goes the Levada up there, but because it's a contour thingy and there's a great big chasm coming down there, it's going to be interesting to see where this actually goes and how do we cross that, if indeed we can. Well, coming along these bits certainly does feel adventurous. Although it's flat, so you're not out of breath. And to be honest, it's not too bad. And I wonder whether actually it would be possible to continue on up to Curral, hiatus, brambles. We'll see how we go. But I'm coming to now is quite precarious. There's a big drop down there, and obviously this has been blasted out from the rock when it was made, and above me, I feel quite pleased I'm protected here. There is obviously quite a face that suffered, a rock face that suffered a lot of falls and erosion. And actually coming around here, oh yes, you can see what some of the difficulties have been. But somebody's been up here and cleared it for me. Well, there's obviously been a bit of a rock fall here. I'm not going to dwell here too long, because although I'm sure most of the stuff that was going to come down has probably come down from up there and up there, I don't really want to test my luck. Oh, this is interesting. You see all the stuff piled up on the left hand side. I think somebody's been up here clearing that. Really, you can only clear it with hand tools. Broken fence. Oh, this is the exciting bit, isn't it? I think I'm definitely going to get wet here. Yeah. Oh. Because it's so slippery, it's not the sort of place you really want to run. Rainfall, waterfall for a minute at least. Oh, a bit more there. Oh, slippery. Oh, after the waterfall, then you see I'm drenched. There are these steep steps. Ow! There's a bramble. And all I can hear is that thundering sound, which I suspect is more water. Whew. And there really is no way to avoid these waterfalls. Goodness knows what they're going to think if I get on the bus looking like this. So this is where the thundering was, and the Levada going through into there. And it must come out over there. But I'm not sure, given the time constraints, etc. I have other options other than to go back down through the waterfall. And under where there's obviously been the landslip material coming down sometime fairly recently. Now I've got one side of me wet coming up, I've got to get the other side of me wet going down. I went through to my pants. Slip, slip, slip. As you can imagine, everything is very slippery. It's certainly not dull. Is cold. I think maybe well, I'm glad that is over. I think the waterfally bit, I mean, I'm absolutely drenched. Surprised my phone's even working. I expect all my money in my wallet has turned into paper mache, and I'm not going to be allowed to get on the bus in the state like this, so I'm going to have to walk back to the hotel. Hopefully I will get into some sun soon and dry out a bit. I think if I had a bit more time and had brought my torch, because I wasn't really expecting to get that far. Well, this is a slippery bit and no handrail, it's been bashed away. Down there. That tunnel I think would be crawlable through, or you could even sort of stoop on it. But yes, you'd want to have a torch and a good sense of adventure. Oh, you can hear my feet squelching now. Well, on my way back now, and it's fat enough to do a bit of jogging again. So I think I've just had a distance thing. Oh, I don't know, it must have been 3 miles, I think. So I've got about 3 miles back. Oh, here's my plum tree. There's juicy plums available. Oh, I think it's fallen off the tree over there. Anyway, need to get a move on. I would say for anybody who likes a little bit of fun, a bit of an adventure, and is in Madeira, do get out and do some of these Levada walks, because although it all looks quite dramatic, well, it is dramatic, very dramatic, actually the routes are pretty clear. Just follow the water. You do get to some steep drops beneath you, but I don't think they're particularly you know, you don't get too much sense of exposure, and you can always grab hold of something, as far as I found. I would say be careful if it is tipping down with rain or has just recently had a very heavy rainfall, because the landsliding and boulders bouncing off is obviously a real threat. But I have to say, all through today thus far, I felt safe and secure, and I would just say do it. And if you start feeling uncomfortable, you can always turn around and go back. Well, I've come to the end of that adventure, about 6 miles according to my Fitbit, and who'd have thought we had such an adventure starting next to a pile of old bins and having come down this manky old track. But I have, and it's been great fun.